us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black.
Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Hello, I'm Darren again. The topic for today's video comes from questions asking, what is meant by the term betrayal trauma, and what would the common effects of betrayal trauma be? So a trauma refers to a deeply distressing or disturbing experience that can overwhelm a person's ability to cope and can leave a long-lasting impact on their emotional, psychological, sometimes even their physical well-being. Betrayal trauma refers to the psychological and emotional distress experienced as a result of a betrayal by a trusted or relied upon individual or group. It's a deeply painful and disorientating experience that can have long-lasting effects on someone. It typically occurs in close relationships such as romantic partnerships, friendships, or within families. However, it can also occur in institutions, organizations, or groups. But the concept of betrayal trauma was first introduced by psychologist Jennifer Fried in the 1990s to describe the psychological consequences of betrayal by trusted individuals, the key term being trusted. It's often associated with experiences such as infidelity and deceit. However, it can involve emotional, physical, sexual, sometimes even financial abuse. But it encompasses situations where trust is being violated by someone the person relied on, someone they felt safe with, and it results in feelings of shock, disbelief, and emotional pain. Now, that being said, the betrayal might not necessarily be an act as such. It could be a lack of action. For instance, someone could be really hurt or perhaps badly mistreated somehow, but the person or the people who were meant to protect them, support them, care about them, do nothing. In extreme cases, sometimes they allowed it to happen. But when looking at the impact of betrayal trauma, it is important to note that the effects can vary from person to person. So factors such as the severity or the duration of the betrayal, who the person was, the nature of the relationship, the individual's resilience, their support systems, and indeed prior experiences, all of these things can influence how someone is affected by the trauma. So some of the effects of betrayal trauma can include, first of all, emotional distress. I think in the immediate afterfact of a betrayal, I think the first thing most people experience is shock. It's like it came out of nowhere. They can't believe it. And it's not that the betrayal was just an oversight or an error. I think one of the contributing factors to being so shocking is if there was intent. The person they trusted is not who they thought they were, not what they thought they were, or perhaps who they were led to believe they were. So perceptions, beliefs, sense of reality suddenly change. Can also trigger intense and overwhelming emotions such as anger and sadness. There could be confusion, disbelief. There can also be shame.
Man, this is heartbreaking. I'm going to start hour number 2 the same way I started hour number 1. I sincerely apologize. Right? It's real, man. It's real. I have betrayed, people that have loved me deeply with everything they had. I wasn't honest. I wasn't truthful. And I am sincerely deeply remorseful for my behavior, and like I said, you want to give context to why you did it, or, why you behaved the way you behaved, but that does not lessen or mitigate the impact, of those behaviors. And again, I would call everybody out. Like, it's easy to talk about what somebody did to us, and I think it's just exceedingly more difficult for people to just talk about what they've done to other people, right? Betrayal trauma is not a monolithic experience, but rather exists in varying degrees of manifestation. The level of betrayal, whether perceived as minor indiscretions or profound violations of trust, can shape the emotional impact and relational aftermath of betrayal trauma. The degree of betrayal may influence the extent of grace extended to the offender, with minor betrayals potentially eliciting forgiveness and reconciliation, while severe betrayals may challenge the possibility of repair and redemption. Understanding the nuanced levels of betrayal trauma can inform the process of healing and decision-making for individuals navigating, complex relationship betrayals, man. Heavy topic. We got callers on the line. People want to talk. People want to share their experience. Let's get Attila from Houston, Texas in. She's been on the longest. Attila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
What up, Ankh? How are you?
What up, what up, what up, what up? We on fire tonight. Love the topic. Let's get busy.
I don't know about love the topic. I mean, as you know, you and I were talking earlier, and I was just like, ew. I didn't want to do it. And I think part of that is because, for me, at the root of a lot of this is the self-betrayal. And as much as I'd like to shift the blame to quote-unquote offenders, the issue is me at the end of the day. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the feedback loop. I could not find any info on that, so I just kind of made it up. But it made me think of 4 things that kind of occur in regards to this feedback loop. And it's, number 1, offense. So someone does something to offend you. 2, there's a lack of clarity, meaning that there's no clear up. There's no understanding brought to the situation in terms of what the situation actually was about. Because I think a lot of times our feelings of betrayal are really just based on our perception. I do think it's possible that we can see certain things as a betrayal when maybe really it's just the wound scab being peeled off a little bit. Number 3 is triangulation. And I think that comes because when there's a lack of clarity, people go seeking answers. And so when you're seeking answers, you have to be careful, because depending on who you are talking to, you are basically creating a flying monkey, because that person is carrying the information from the perspective that you've given them, and chances are that perspective is very flawed. Because, again, like I said, remember, the offense is seated in your wounds. And the last thing is estrangement or alienation. And I think the way that I have experienced that has been that the offense was so great, in my mind, at least, or in their mind. Nothing was talked about. There was no communication between the two of us. And if there were, it was arguing. And so essentially you go your separate ways because you don't necessarily want to work on healing because you're, again, so offended. And so I made a comment in the chat to Dustin, and I remember I can't remember exactly what he said, but it brought up the kind of idea of the shoe dropping. We're constantly waiting for the shoe to drop. So to me, it's just as illogical or dysfunctional to believe that there's going to be a shoe that's going to drop all the time and be on guard as it is to say that there is no shoe and make yourself think that you won't ever be betrayed. I think that when we're talking about dealing with works in progress, betrayal is definitely a possibility, depending upon how you view that offense, how you have shaped what betrayal is in your mind, if that makes sense.
Wow. Heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. Attila, guess what you just did.
All right, Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the building. Will I hear from LA tonight? The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Sean, Oakland, California. Get in here.
Hey, brother. Well, Attila is a goddess. I really appreciate her input. My thing, from my experiences, right, because the only way I can talk to all of your listeners and you is from my experiences. I'm not trying to be, some, person that is telling you something from a DSM and, all these, ways they diagnose stuff. My thing is, betrayal of trust has two things, emotional or safety. Emotional is usually the one. Betrayal of trust. That's the one where, we're all, we can see it in the media. We can see it in our personal lives. We can, experience it. And look, we know we're doing it. That's the thing I wanted to say. We know it. This isn't one of these things where we accidentally are doing emotional, betrayal. No. You're doing it for your self-preservation. You're doing it because you, for whatever reason, can't handle what's ever going on, or you want to have something else going on. All right? Safety, emotional trust, that's a different thing, and I don't think we're talking about that. So my thing is for people, when it comes to betrayal of trust, because if you're talking about, once that happens, by the way, I'll let everyone know the 100% thing that actually happens. Once you betray the trust of somebody, they'll never trust you again. And I mean that 150%. So don't do it. Be solid in where you stand in the world, and don't do that, because it might make your short-term life better, but it ain't going to make your long-term life better.
I get it, brother, and I agree with you. Thank you for the call. You brought Oakland, California in the building. Look, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we're going to Pasadena, Jacksonville, Florida, and Oakland, California. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union Symposium you used to do? You know the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one.
Let's bring them back.
Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I believe up there. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Partner betrayal, trauma, recovery time. That's our topic today, and if you've been betrayed, you're going to want to watch this. If you know someone who's been betrayed, you want to share this. Now, if you've yet to subscribe to our channel, please do. If you have a question, please put it in the box. We want to hear from you, and we want to get into this topic. Partner betrayal trauma is when you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship and the other person commits some kind of infidelity, be it pornography, be it emotional affairs, be it sexual affairs, prostitutes, sex services, online chats, whatever it is, there's a level of unfaithfulness that you get traumatized by. And our research shows that doesn't really matter what the trauma is as far as what they do, even if it's neglect. If they're in intimacy anorexic, they withhold love from you, withhold praise, they're too busy for you, they blame you. And if you don't understand that word, Google it. There's lots of information, or look at our YouTubes on that. But if that's the case, you've been betrayed by neglect and then hit with the betrayal, which makes matters worse. So the timeline is going to be unique to you. There is not a cookie cutter because there's too many variables. Your own personal resilience is a variable, okay? If you've been traumatized in the past and haven't dealt with those traumas, it's going to aggravate that. It's going to take longer because you have to go and dig into those things and heal from those as well, which can be the gift of this trauma to you, is to clean that stuff up, okay? Another factor is going to be if you know the truth. Now, we do polygraphs all the time. He can do polygraphs, and he can verify if he's talking to her, connecting with prostitutes, looking at pornography, intriguing with women or men or whatever the thing is that's going on in your life. And it can help you to know what's true, which can give you some kind of stability as you heal. Now, if he's unwilling to do that, you're most likely going to experience more and more pain because he's protecting the wrong thing, okay? So the things you are going to be able to control is whether you get help. Now, of course, you can get counseling. We have intense.
That's heavy. That's heavy. They offering polygraph tests. Yee. This is a heavy topic, y'all. Let's get even deeper. The great guru. The first guru to come sit with the American government. From the East, he brought self-realization to America. He comes from a long line of gurus. His guru, Sri Yukteswar Swami, Sri Yukteswar, right? His guru, Lahiri. His guru, like, he comes from a long line of gurus all the way back to the great guru, Mahavatar Babaji. He was sent here by Babaji. He gets to America. He's known as Paramahansa Yogananda. He comes to Mount Washington here in Southern California, sets up an ashram. You know, they have a meditation garden right off of PCH. And they have several different buildings and facilities. He died here in Southern California. And it was said that his body at Forest Lawn, you can look it up, Paramahansa Yogananda said his body took 21 days to decompose, to even start decomposing. So he looked like he was asleep for 3 weeks. Paramahansa Yogananda. The great Steve Jobs had only one thing on his iPod, and that was Paramahansa's book called The Autobiography of a Yogi. If you've never read it, you should probably read it. But let me tell you something. For all of those people out there who have been betrayed, have been hurt, this is what Paramahansa Yogananda says. Your trials did not come to punish you, but to awaken you. We've got callers on the line. I want to get them on right now. It looks like we lost some callers. What happened to Dana? Dana, get back in here. Call us back, 1-800-920-1580. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get Mimi from Jacksonville. Mimi, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic? Hey, how you doing?
I'm okay. Let me get a sip of water.
Okay.
Thanks. I love the show. I love the topic.
Thank you.
And I love the point of view that you're coming from. As you were talking, I was thinking, I was trying to frame it in a way that made sense to me. How do we go about forgiving ourselves when we have betrayed ourselves?
Well, I would say, number one, that inner critic, that negative self-talk, that judgment, we judge ourselves very harshly, and I would say we're going to have to turn that off if we're going to, forgive ourselves, because ultimately that's the goal, right? You want to forgive yourself for betraying yourself, right? And sometimes we do that through rumination. We will ruminate over things. Oh, I could have did this, or I saw this and I didn't say nothing, and you know what I mean? Like, we beat ourselves up by the replay, right? In a lot of ways, it reminds me of Kobe Bryant, right? If the relationship is the game, we take the footage home and we scrape over the footage and we're like, oh my God, I could have did this better. Oh my God, I didn't see the double team coming. Oh, I didn't see that. And that's good for basketball, but that's not good for psychological wounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
To replay over and over and over again, because what happens is we tend to empower, right, the negative side of it, which is I could have done better. The reality of it is you can't do any more than what you did.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not like a game, right? This is not like a game where you can say, all right, I got a game tomorrow and I learned from this and I'm going to do it that way. Going over it and over it and judging yourself while doing it is typically not healthy to do. Now, if you can look at what you've done or what you've been through in an objective way, in a non-judgmental way, and be able to look at the things that you participated in and said, you know what, I didn't show up for myself there. But don't beat yourself up when you recognize that. You'll be okay. But many of us, before we could say, I could have did better here, without judgment, you know what, that's on me. And then say to yourself, I apologize to me. I'm sorry to me, right? Instead of saying, man, you blew it, or you saying even worse words. We're on radio right now. I can't say what I really want to say, with regards to how we talk to ourselves. But yeah,
right.
You have to deal with yourself with empathy. You have to empathize with yourself. You're a human being. You make mistakes too, especially when it comes to self-betrayal. So give yourself grace first before you try to seek grace from others or give grace to others. Does that make sense?
Yes. So would you say you're trying to diminish the inner critic and let the non-judgmental voice be the dominant one?
I wouldn't say diminish. I would just say shut that thing up. You know what I mean? Because where is the inner critic born from? If we get Colin Tippen's work, Colin Tippen wrote a book called Radical Self-Forgiveness. Go get his book, Colin Tippen, Radical Self-Forgiveness. And he talks about the inner judges. You have an adult judge, and then you have a parental judge, and then you have the inner child. And he says usually the adult judge and the parental judge gang up on the inner child. So again, it's about shutting down those negative voices of authority, things that you modeled from childhood. It's about shutting those voices down and actually letting that inner child speak. You speak to the inner child. I'm sorry for putting you in this position. I'm sorry for hurting you in this way. And love on that inner child, and then you'll see that there will be a radical shift, and you'll be able to forgive yourself. Make sense?
That was very helpful, yeah, because I thought that it kind of had to be there for growth.
Wait, stay with me because I want to get your final thought. Stay with me. When we come forward, back to Jacksonville, Florida.
Much too deep to turn away. So please say you'll stay. Don't you try and hide your feelings, because it's so very plain to see. I can see forever in your eyes.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wayne. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Family, friends, and colleagues of the late Cook County, Illinois clerk Karen Yarborough continue to remember her time in office. A special meeting of County Board Commissioners was held to honor the longtime politician. Mayor Brandon Johnson was among the speakers. New York City Mayor Eric Adams, who's black, is criticizing pro-Palestinian protesters while defending police for arresting demonstrators in Brooklyn over the weekend. Adams says protesters blocked traffic, climbed on top of a bus, and spit at police officers in Bay Ridge. Video shows officers shoving protesters towards the sidewalks, dragging others, and punching several demonstrators while taking them into custody. President Biden is urging black voters to show up at the polls in November. He spoke to the Detroit branch of the NAACP's Fight for Freedom Fund dinner and was given a Lifetime Achievement Award from the group. Biden addressed concerns about being 81 years old and said he feels pretty inspired. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Follow the leader. Oh my God. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
City of Los Angeles landlords, verify your tenant's Emergency Renters Assistance Program status today. Tenants approved for rental assistance are protected from eviction for non-payment of rent through May 31st, 2024. Approved rental assistance applications protect tenants from eviction for non-payment of rent. Refusing to accept rental assistance based on their source of income is illegal under law and can be used as a defense in an eviction case. Check your tenant's application status now at housing.lacity.org. That's housing.lacity.org. Fight climate change. This Earth Day, April 22nd, go Metro and ride for free. You'll make a difference. Metro buses run on clean energy, making every day Earth Day. Together, we can clear the air and connect our communities. Start your journey at metro.net.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency. On low Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face. When it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is for all these special people whom God created, put on this earth. So beautiful indeed. So many. But woman. Such a beautiful lady, the kind you find in a dream, and dreams are so real for me, with eyes so warm and soothing, they put me in a trance, and I imagine us by the warm, cozy fireplace. The light shines on your face. The smile gets me high and higher. My heart starts to race. I gotta say what I feel, 'cause girl, you look so good to me. So fine, lady, so fine. This way, so
Today we're going to take on a topic that I've thought about for a long time, and I'm surprised I never made a video about this, and then I was updating a lecture, and I thought, you know what, let me bring this to YouTube as well. And it's a concept called betrayal blindness, and specifically how betrayal blindness helps us understand the self-blame that survivors of narcissistic abuse struggle with so much. So this term, betrayal blindness, was developed and researched by someone named Dr. Jennifer Freed, and her resources, if you're interested in her work, we're going to have those in the video notes, because she has some really interesting work that was really resonant for survivors of narcissistic abuse. She defines betrayal blindness as basically sort of being unaware or unrecognizing or just forgetting about one or multiple betrayals you've experienced. She argues that this could happen with any kind of betrayal: abuse, infidelity, lying, any kind of betrayal. What she believes is that we engage in this unseeingness so we can preserve our relationships, our worldviews, our ideals, and our social systems. So she and her work kind of draws on work of other researchers, like a woman named Dr. Leah Cosmides, who's at, I think, UC Santa Barbara, who argues that we as human beings have evolved to know that we're being betrayed. In simple terms, human beings know and have for thousands of years know when we're being played, no matter who we're being played by. Stranger, parent, partner, friend, we know. But there are times we don't want to see it. We can't see it. It's not safe for us to see it. So we just don't see it, and then we can keep things going. But we got to explain the bad stuff that's happening somehow. And what do you think happens then? Yup, that's when we turn it on ourselves. Now, in cases of trauma, betrayal trauma, and which is what Dr. Fried calls it, people may dissociate the betrayal. In other cases, we may find a way to soft pedal it, rationalize it as something that happens in all relationships, not that big a deal. Maybe I'm partially to blame too. And the models of therapy we use out there in couples therapy don't help. Everyone is partially responsible for what happens in a relationship, that kind of thing. But by not allowing ourselves to see it clearly, the other thing to remember about people is we are naturally drawn to making sense of stuff, to understanding the why. So that why becomes, it's my fault. Judith Herman, the trauma researcher, argues that children do that for safety reasons. It's too catastrophic for children to believe that their betraying or traumatizing parents are bad, so the child then internalizes the blame as the bad one who is responsible for their own abuse, which allows the parents to remain in a good position. But this can persist into all kinds of adult relationships too. We know betrayal isn't right, but the construct of betrayal blindness means we keep gaslighting ourselves, keep telling ourselves, everything's fine.
This is where Dr. Ramani and I depart, because I believe the clinical part is necessary and is needed and is important and is essential and integral to this healing journey we're on. But I think the clinical part lacks spiritual understanding. So what is the purpose of carrying that modeling into adult relationships, right? Yes, it's your norm, but the reality of it is relationship is a mirror, right? And the etymology of the word mirror is shadow. And Carl Jung understood the unconscious. So you're carrying your unconscious work into your adult relationships in order for that to be mirrored back to you so you can take responsibility and untangle it. Heal it. How do you heal it? Right? Through empathy. Empathy for oneself. Empathy for one's wounds. How can you heal a wound if you don't empathize with the wound? Uh-oh. See that, and do you get what I'm saying? Like, the clinical side does not have that kind of terminology, because in their mind, what I just said isn't falsifiable. They can't quantify it in an experiment. Do you see? So again, you carry all of these attachment styles, communication styles, unhealed wounds. You carry those things into adult relationship for internal reconciliation. We got it external. We've turned what is supposed to be internal reconciliation into external demands and expectations of the person. If you show up and do this, well, guess what that means? If they show up and do everything your unhealed wound says they're supposed to do, then the wound never heals. Your partner becomes a living pacifier. Do you see? There has to be some type of confrontation, but the confrontation can't be warlike. Does that make sense? You have to approach the wound as a nurse. You've got to nurse it back to health by loving on it, by empathizing with it. Are y'all listening? Do you see? This is why I lead with what's broken in me, or what has been broken, or what I've learned from my brokenness when I'm doing these shows. This is why I do it. The great Krishnamurti said it like this: I have no followers. I hope you do not consider yourselves as my followers. For if you do, you will be perverting and betraying the truth which I maintain. I have no disciples. I have no followers. But if you understand the truth which I put forth in all its simplicity and in all its greatness and love, that truth for what it is in its own beauty, you will become the disciples of that truth. This is why I'm saying it ain't the messenger. Every messenger is broken and flawed. That's why he said, I have no followers. I have no disciples. You got to become the disciples of the truth. And what truth am I talking about? I'm not talking about something in a book. Become the disciple of your truth. But you're afraid of your truth. You judge your truth. You critique your truth. You criticize your truth. Don't you know your unhealed wounds are a part of your truth? And if you can't accept them, are you betraying yourself? And if you are betraying yourself, are you not a magnet of betrayal? When I come forward, the voice of reason, getting back to the phone lines, let's cook.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, the VOR, the voice of reason, live on KBLA Talk 1580. Tonight's topic has been absolutely fire. You already know what it is. We start the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. We featured mint condition all night long. They kept the vibes right. Now, we're going to run through these callers. Callers, please keep it short, concise, and impactful. I'm coming to who's been on the longest. We're going to get all of these callers on before the end of the show. Again, short, sweet, but impactful. Otto, Oakland, California. Get in here. Mimi, Jacksonville, Florida. Get in here.
Well, darn. Okay. Dear self, I forgive myself lovingly. Have a good night, everyone.
Oh, we love you, Mimi. Thank you for that. Hey, Otto, Oakland, California, yay area. Get in here.
Hey, what's going on, Zo? How you doing?
What's up, good brother? How you?
I'm peaceful at the moment. So, I've been diagnosing myself, and I came up with 3 phrases, so I'm going to make them quick. Okay. In the relationships, I've been acting skate woke. Okay. Skate woke. Not a scapegoat, but a skate woke. Okay. And I've been acting in a dictatorship. All right. And I've been acting also as a master manipulator. All right. And so because of that, I know where it stems from. You know, it was having parents, both of my parents raised me, so do a lot of that. But they were emotionally distant and always teaching me to be independent. So I was always ready to get in a relationship and then get that person going as 2 independent people living together. So that's my diagnosis, and I've been working on myself for that.
Man, please continue to work on yourself, brother. We all need it. And more importantly, as a community, our community needs healthy relationships. And brothers, it starts with us, man. If we don't lead the vanguard, the charge, the armada to heal ourselves, I mean, what are we leaving our women with? You know? So, brother, I'm with you. I appreciate you for being so transparent. Thank you for holding on the line, bruh. You brought Oakland, California in the building. Truemonger, Dallas, Texas. Get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Man, betrayal is something we're all guilty of, and we're all guilty of receiving it too. At the end of the day, you're responsible for your part. Own your part, make amends, or at least do your best to make amends. Whether they receive it, whether they accept it, is on them. After that, all you are is responsible for your part. You let them know what it is. You be honest. You be truthful. Don't expect nothing. And you move on. You let the chips fall where they may. The universe bring y'all back into each other's circle. Cool. If not, you gotta accept that and keep going.
Yeah. I agree. Truemonger.
Yes, sir.
Guess what you just did?
This brought Dallas in the building.
You already know what it is. Dallas, Texas in the building. And they're in the Western Conference Final. Boy, Lakers, come on, what we gonna do? Let me get my final caller up in here now. Dana from Dina. What up, Dana? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, this is really a heavy lift now that I think about it, and I've listened to everyone else give their thoughts. But what I want to say, I want to start mine off with an apology about betrayal. I want to apologize to those that I sought relationship and friendship with that I had no intention of honoring my part of it. I just wanted something from you, so I betrayed you. I apologize to myself for my self-betrayal, for every intention that I've had of starting something, beginning something, ending something, and I didn't.
Wow, that's heavy. Man, I love you, Dana. You know that.
I know.
Man, Dana, that just took the wind out of everybody's sails. We was floating along, Dana, and then Dana, we appreciate that transparency. And listen, man, you've been with me for so long. I just love you, and I appreciate
I
you.
know we started out as babies together. When I thought about your topic yesterday, I think you were 14, I was 18.
Yeah.
And I thought about Cassie being 19 and how impressionable she was, and young, and how, 18, 19, those is a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Because you think you know everything and you know nothing.
Right.
And for a 37-year-old person to come into your life that sees you,
right?
It's you want that. You're glamored in a way.
Right.
So I think about that, and just a life's journey and how you can recover and you can be, redeemed. So thank you for that.
Nah, thank you. I appreciate you, Dana. I love you, and you already know. Call in anytime.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Andy.
And let me say something to everybody, too. And maybe this is a topic we should do, because I need you guys to understand something about self-compassion, self-acceptance, self-approval, self-esteem, self-worth. And I'm going to add one more. And maybe this is a topic. Self-redemption. Damn it, we got to stop looking for redemption on the outside. We want to be redeemed for our humanity, right? Yeah, we made mistakes. Yes, we betrayed. Yes, we lied. Yes, we were disrespectful. Yes, we betrayed ourselves. Listen, self-redemption is when you put the work in. I want you to understand something. You're never going to be finished healing. Healing is a continuum. It never stops. You understand? So self-redemption is an incremental, step-by-step movement where you wake up every day a little bit better than you went to sleep the night before. Self-redemption. The people who care enough look for redemption in others, and no one can redeem you. You've heard people say, no one can save you. Well, no one can redeem you. Only you can redeem you. And some people might push back and say, well, God can redeem you. Yes, that's you redeeming you. There is no boundary between you and God. So when you go inside and discover what Psalms 82:6 said about you, you'll understand. That's how you redeem yourself. We started the conversation. It's up for you to complete it. I'll be back tomorrow with another slapper. Tavis is up next on the 9s. We out of here.
You